Hello friends, today we will discuss about first chapter of our microeconomics, that is introduction. In this chapter we will discuss about the basic concept of economics, how can we define economics, who is the father of economics, and how can we define economics as a subject. Okay, so let us start now. Now, as we know that Adam Smith is father of economics. In 1776, Adam Smith wrote a book named An Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of Wealth of Nations. So, by this book, economics was become as a subject, and before that, economics was not as a subject. So, all credit goes to Adam Smith. In 1776, he wrote a book. The name of this book is very important, that is An Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of Wealth of Nations. So that's why Adam Smith is known as father of economics. Secondary economics is defined by different economics by different ways like Adam Smith, Marshall, Robertson, Robinson, etc. So all these economics were defined economics by various different ways. But economics as a subject which discuss about economic activity such as consumption, distribution, production, investment, etc. So all these things are contents of economics. So basically economics discussed about economic activities such as consumption, production, distribution, investment, etc. Further, we can say that economics is a social science which studies the way a society chooses to use its limited resources, which have alternative uses, to produce goods and services and to distribute them among different groups of people. So, broadly, we can say that economics is a social science which studies the way a society chooses to use its limited resources. How can a people select the uses of resources, how can producer produce different goods and services with the given resources or with the available resources, and resources have an alternative uses also. How can we define economy? It is a system which provides people the means to work and earn a living. So economy is a different unit of economic groups. So we can say that economy is a group of economic units also. Vital functions of an economy. There are various functions of economy, but basically production, consumption, and capital formation, which known as investment, is vital functions of an economy. Why study economics? This is very important question. Do you think that why study economics? The main reason for study of economics can be simplified to a single word, that is scarcity. And how can we define scarcity? Scarcity means limited availability of resources. So as you see here in PowerPoint, this is the fuel indicator where fuel is almost at the end. So scarcity can be defined as limited availability of resources, and in a country or economy, how can we fulfill our needs with the given resources or limited availability of resources? So scarcity means limited availability of resources only. So here you can see scarcity refers to the limitation of supply in relation to demand for a commodity. Economics is concerned with selection of resources under condition of scarcity. Resources. Factors of production. Factors of production is also known as resources. That factor of production may be land, labor, capital, technology, whatever. So these are resources. Resources may be man-made resources or natural resources. Economic problem. It is a problem of choice. It is a problem of choice involving satisfaction of unlimited wants out of limited resources having alternative uses. So, economic problem means why does economic problem arises? the question is this. So why does economic problem arises? Economic problem arises due to limited availability of resources. Because of limited availability of resources, the country have problem. Second thing, all resources have alternative uses. So the second reason of economic problem is an alternative uses of resources. So there are two basic reasons behind the economic problem. First, limited availability of resources, and second, an alternative uses of resources. Reasons for economic problem. Number one is scarcity of resources. Resources are limited in relation to their demand, and economy cannot produce all what people want. So due to limited availability of resources, a country cannot fulfill their all needs, because we have unlimited needs and we have unlimited wants. And to fulfill these wants or needs, resources are limited. So that's why economic problem arises. So first is scarcity of resources, and second is unlimited human wants. So as you know, with limited availability of resources, how can we fulfill our unlimited wants? So this is a big problem. Alternative uses. So all resources have alternative uses, like uranium. We can produce bomb with the uranium, and we can also produce electricity or power with this uranium. So depending on choice. So there are alternative uses of resources. Micro and macroeconomics is basically two different branches of economics. Micro means micro word is developed from microscope. So micro is the area where any economic problem or issue concerned individually. So when we analyze any individually economic problem, then this is a part of microeconomics. And macro always shows the aggregate or as a whole. So when we analyze any economic issue or economic concern as a aggregate or as a whole, then this is the part of macroeconomics. So micro means individual concern, like individual income, individual saving, individual investment, and macro means aggregate income or national income, aggregate saving, national saving, etc. So how can we differentiate microeconomics and macroeconomic? So these are different bases of this differentiation. Microeconomic deals with the behavior of individual economic units, where macroeconomics is the study of the economy as a whole. What is the tool? Microeconomics, demand and supply. Macroeconomics, aggregate demand and aggregate supply. And what is the objective? To determine the price of a commodity or factors of production in microeconomics, and in macroeconomics to determine the income and employment level of the economy. Other name in microeconomics, it is also known as price theory, and in macroeconomy, income and employment theory. Example, in microeconomics, individual income, individual output, and from macroeconomics, national income, national output. So these are different bases on which we can differentiate between micro and macroeconomics. And next, positive and normative economics. What do you mean by positive economics and what do you mean by normative economics? So just think about normative economics. Normative economics always shows the ideal situation, or this always shows the ethics, ideology, and what should be done. What should be done means being a countryman, what should be done, being a head of department, what should be done, being a policymaker, what should be done. There should be no poverty, there should be no unemployment. All these things are ideal situation. So normative economics always deals as they should be. And what should be? All these are ideal situation. And in positive economics, it always deals with what is it, what is the fact, and what is the reality. uh, there is unemployment, there is poverty, there is inflation. All these are facts or real situation of the economy. So positive economics always deals with real facts. So we can differentiate between positive economics and normative economics on different basis. Means verification, nature, purpose, and value judgments also. Okay. So now the next our concern is central problems of an economy. There are three central economic problems: what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. And this central economic problem always arises due to two basic features of resources, that is limited availability of resources, or we can say scarcity, and second one is an alternative uses of these resources. And there are three central economic problems. Remember what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. Now, what to produce? This problem involves selection of goods and services to be produced and the quantity to be produced of each selected commodity. So there are two options for the producer, that what to produce, whether producer should produce consumer goods or capital goods. Consumer goods are those goods which are directly consumed by the consumer, and capital goods are those goods by which consumer goods produced. So with limited availability of resources, or with the given resource, producer have choice that whether producer should produce capital goods or consumer goods. That's why what to produce is a central economic problem. And second one is how to produce. There are again there is a problem of selection of technique. So whether a country should produce or select a technique of labor intensive technology or capital intensive technology. So both technology have their merits and demerits. Means when a country choose labor intensive technology, then obviously there will be more employment, but the production quantity will be less. And in capital intensive technology, no doubt there will be more production, but the employment opportunity will be less. So both have merits and demerits. That's why how to produce is a big problem for the country. Now, later for whom to produce. For whom to produce means there are two different section in a society. One is rich section, or second is poor section. Rich section oftenly used luxurious items or goods, while poor section generally use necessities item. So country have big problem whether production should be for rich section or for poor section. That's why for whom to produce is a central economic problem. So these are three different central economic problem: what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. Now next, production possibility curve. Okay, production possibility curve. In short, PPC is the symbol of production possibility curve. And what production possibility curve shows? It shows various combination of two different goods which can be produced by the producer with the given resources. So this always shows different combination of two goods which producer can be produced by the given resources. PPC is also known as a frontier curve as well as transformation curve. So there are three different names. PPC one, production possibility curve. Second is transformation curve, and third is frontier curve. So, what is the shape of PPC? Remember, this is the most important part of PPC. In general, PPC is concave shape. Sometimes maybe PPC is straight line or maybe convex to the origin, but in general, we have to remember that PPC is always concave shape. And what is the reason behind this concave shape? PPC is concave shape due to the increasing marginal opportunity cost. So remember, due to only increasing marginal opportunity cost, the shape of PPC is concave. And in this diagram, you can see the shape of PPC is concave. And inside the production possibility curve, all combination on point shows inefficient production, inefficient or underutilization of the resources. So inside the curve, all combination will show inefficiently or underutilization of the resources. And beyond the PPC means outside the production possibility curve, this shows overutilization of the resources, which is not possible. And at any point on PPC, all these points or combination will show optimum utilization of the resources. So on PPC, any point Each point shows optimum utilization of the resources. So PPC is generally concave to the origin. Now, marginal opportunity cost means minus loss upon gain. This is the normal formula of marginal opportunity cost, and the slope of PPC shows marginal opportunity cost. So that's all for this introductory part of microeconomics. Thank you so much.